Right, so I thought I'd just make this video, because I wanted to make a video with you, and I just did want to say, I've had, it was a video that I was meant to put out, but I didn't, because, I basically did it all, and it was like, it messed up, basically. I didn't mess up, the video was fine, but the process of it all was messed up. And I couldn't be bothered to edit it again because I had to do everything again. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about like my mindset as a runner, and how I see it and everything. So I just think that I just think people's mindset is wrong. Like, that sounds harsh and like I can't say that, but it shows, because you've got these people, right, that I'm like catching up with, some a lot I've caught up with and got better than, but they just think, oh yeah, listen to the coach, they know what they're doing just because they've got a piece of paper that says that they're a qualified coach. But then it's equally, people would say that if there's a coach, even, it doesn't matter how quick they were or if they ever ran, if you had them compared to, I don't know, a 14-minute 5k guy that advocates high mileage, if you listen to that guy, they're like, oh, he hasn't got a qualification, he's going to ruin you, but he's faster, so like, if he's applied them principles to himself, how is he going to ruin you if it's worked for him? I know, like, obviously individuals need specificity and to be specific to that person, but I just think, do what works for you, and that's the first thing. Do what works for you. Sorry, I'm tired because I ran my long run this morning, 22 miles, at 7:29 per mile average, and I was running 7 flat for the first few miles and sub 7s. That was math, low heart rate, by the way. So it's easy, but it's obviously like tiring on the body, and this is the 4th 100-mile week. But I wanted to say, do what's specific to you and what works for you, because high mileage works for me. I've worked that out the hard way. But people will still criticise me and go, oh, you're on high mileage, you're gonna get like injured, burnt out, like all this. You just know it all, and I'm just there like, but I'm getting better and you're not, so how does that work? Like, and it's, do you know what, I wish that I could run 50 miles a week and run a 15-minute 5k. It's just not gonna happen, is it? So I obviously need high mileage, but I think even if I did sport, I'd still need high mileage, because I've got that. That's just what works for me. You just know what works for you, like, and it showed, because whenever we used to do runs and stuff, like, I'd be better at the boys at like the 5k, 10k in the club when I first started running, but then 1500 I get absolutely smoked. Like, I used to get gapped, and I used to get gapped in speed sessions, but when they'd make us do a mileage run, I remember there was one time where it was a 10k run, around that, and sorry, I told you I'm tired. And I started at the back because I was going really easy, and I caught up to them, and then I beat them. It wasn't a race, I wasn't racing it, but I was going pretty hard. It was probably like not a threshold, but quite like, it was like a tempo, if you want to call it that. But I like caught up by about 5 minutes, so like probably nearly a mile, and they thought, this is a true story, they thought that I'd got a lift in the car with the coach to catch up to them, but I didn't. I just caught up. But it was because, like, from that moment on, I knew that mileage, I was naturally better at like training high mileage, like longer stuff, and I was going to be better at the longer race distances, because they were trying, because they used to just sweat out every session, and I caught up to them, and they got like pissed off because they thought that I'd got in the car. But it just shows, like, if they're it wasn't that I was running like just a bit slow. Like I was running really slow. That they opened like a good mile gap on me, and I thought, oh, that's it. I'm just here for the rest of the run, ain't I? I just thought, oh, I'll just pick it up a bit, and then my coach kept coming in the car, and he was like, oh, they're just ahead, keep chasing them. So I did. I kept going, kept going. Eventually, I caught up to them with about 2 miles to go, and I just kept going, and I got back before them, and they was like, oh, you cheated, because I beat them on the mileage run, like, what? But, yeah. But I've just always, I can't explain it, I've just always known that I prefer the longer stuff and I'm better at the longer stuff. Right, so the second bit of advice I could give you, I would honestly say that so don't compare yourself to others, because if you do that, then you're always going to be unhappy, so to speak. Like, I can't really explain what I mean by don't compare yourself to others, but I basically just mean that if you look at someone and think, oh, they're running a 16:55k on 30 miles a week, and then you're like, oh, me, I'm running 40 miles a week, 18:25k. It's like, I can't really explain it. Just don't compare yourself to others, even if they're the same speed as you. I think it's important to, you could call this comparing yourself, but look at your position, your times, and look at theirs. Because obviously you want to know, like, if you're going to beat them in a race or not. Like, definitely know how fast people are and know their like times and their fitness and stuff, but don't like go around, don't look at their times, like PBs, and their mileage they were on the train they did, and compare it to yours, because your training is going to be different to them, because you're a different individual. Like, you might get two individuals that are like exactly the same in terms of the mileage they need and the times they run, but they're still going to be a tiny bit different. I just think it's unlikely you're going to be the same as them unless you already know what training they do. But still, you can be. I was talking to my mate about this. He was saying that me and him are two completely different runners, even though we both train similar. I run more than him now, but only by about 10 miles a week. But he is more of like a middle distance guy, and I'm more of a like marathon, half marathon, like longer distance. That's what I want to do. But at the moment, I'm thinking of switching to 5k, 10k, like properly. That's what I want to do long term. But like before marathon stuff. But I might do a few marathons and half marathons just for fun, if that makes sense. Even if I run a good time. But yeah, you just said that. And I get that, because you can have two runners running like the exact same mileage but be completely different. Like, you could have somebody running 150 miles a week, run the 13:55k and a 2:20 marathon. And you could have the exact, like, a runner with the exact same mileage, 150 miles a week, running a 14:35k but a 2:13 marathon. So it just all depends on the person, I guess, and just don't compare yourself, because it don't reflect you, and you need to focus on yourself to get better, because you're the one running, aren't you? So yeah, and I think the third thing, I don't know how many things it's going to be, but the third thing, just make it as I go along, because yeah, I think that you shouldn't, like, don't listen to what other people tell you, like coaches and stuff, unless it's not negative, but it's not bullshit, basically. Like, don't, if the coach, if you know you've ran bad and they go, oh yeah, like, you've ran bad but it's okay, you just had a bad race. You might have had a bad race, but say whenever you perform shit and you know you've done shit, don't listen to them if they say that, if they make up excuses. You want a coach that tells you that, you want a coach that says, like, listen mate, you've ran shit, we need to do something about your training to make you improve, because this just isn't working. or you can do that with yourself. That's what I did. Like, I know I'm still quite a shit now. Like, you might not think I am, but realistically, for my age and everything like that, I am. Like, but I know that I'm gonna get better and be one of the top guys. It just takes time and patience and consistency, and just make sure you train properly. But I was honest with myself and said, you know what, you're fucking shit, mate. Like, and people will say to me, like the family, especially, say, oh, you set the bar really high, but that's what you've got. That's what you've got to do to be successful. And you've got to be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself, because everyone wants to be comfortable and think that there's nothing wrong with them. But honestly, like, it's just, if you're not happy, like, I'm not happy where I'm at, where I'm running. Like, right now, okay, I wouldn't say I'm not happy. Like, I am happy, but obviously I want to be quicker. But obviously it takes time. But I know that I'm, like, not good, and I knew back when, like, a few years ago I was awful, and I told myself that, and I knew I was, and that's why I wanted to improve, and that's why I'm running so much now. I was changing up my training, because I thought, you know what, there's something not right here, you need to change it. And I was like, well, I'm doing a lot of speed, but my endurance is crap, and I'm not getting quicker from doing speed, so maybe I should do more endurance. Easy much. Did that, guess what, got quicker. So it's all about identifying the issues and just doing something about them so that you improve, but also don't listen to feedback unless it's like the truth and you know it's the truth. If they're telling you something that doesn't align with what you think, in terms of, if you think you're like doing shit and something needs to change, if you're getting told by somebody that, then that's good. But if they're not telling you that, don't listen to them, because you know yourself, like, your instinct tells you if you're shit or not. Like, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but obviously don't be hard on yourself, but be hard on yourself. You don't get anywhere from being nice to yourself. You have to be brutal, otherwise you're not going to improve. Like, do you think that Mo Farah, for example, over there, do you think that he, when he's out, like, say he doesn't win a race, do you think he says to himself, oh yeah, just a bad race, I just need to race better next time? No, he'll look at it and he'll think, well, did I train properly? Did I train correctly in the build up to this? What could I have done differently? What am I lacking? Am I lacking top end speed, endurance? Am I lacking endurance? Am my race tactics not down? Like, are they not correct? Did I do something wrong, like a few weeks leading up to it, in terms of tapering or diet, anything like that? You just have to be honest with yourself, and that's what the elites do, and that's why they're at where they're at, because they fix problems to make themselves faster. Well, so that's all I had to say for this video. I'm not trying to be negative, that's just my mindset. I think you have to be honest with yourself, you have to address issues and do something about it, and do the right thing so that you get quicker and become a better runner. But also, don't just focus on you and nobody else, because you're the person running. It's your body, your times, not theirs. It might be cool to look at their times and be like, oh, look how quick he is, I wish I was like that, what, maybe I should train like him. But just because he trains like that now doesn't mean he always trained like that. Maybe you need to train differently to get to that point, then train like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If this video has sort of helped you out, or given you like a different mindset into it, or an insight into how I think, please leave a like on the video. If you're new out here, could you please subscribe? It really does help me out, and it lets me know that I'm giving out good information and just videos that you want to see. Sorry they've been a bit boring recently, there's not really been much going on, but I've got work over there next week, which will be 10k specific thing. It's going to be like probably a series training for probably sub 34 10k. So thank you guys for watching, see you next one.